All right, everybody. Obviously, a lot of talk going on about the potential snow. And I tell you what, looking at the data, I definitely would think these two things are going to come in handy here the next couple of days. We always joke about it, but I think this is a situation where you got to start looking at the models are pointing to a pretty significant winter storm for parts of our area. Now, the totals, the amounts, that's still pretty questionable on what we're going to see. But let me go through the models quickly and show you some of the stuff we're looking at. So let's go to the first thing. Now, this is the new NAM model. This only goes out 84 hours. So this is as far out as I could go. This is this morning's run. And this goes through basically, you're looking for the forecast on a late Sunday night. This is 7 p.m. Sunday night, and you can clearly see our winter storm here across the southern plains into the Gulf Coast region. And the 0 degrees Celsius, that's the rain snow line, it's all the way down south of Charleston. So plenty of cold air in place as this system moves out. So that only goes out 84 hours. So let's take a look at some other models. Let's start, that's the GFS. I'm waiting for more of that to come in. We'll actually update that live while I'm doing this blog. But here's the European model from last night. All right, let's go out into the future here. This is Saturday. We're going out. This is now Saturday night. Sunday morning. Look at the system blowing up near the Gulf of Mexico. Look at all the precipitation spreading to the north. Okay, this is a late Sunday into Monday morning. The blue line, that 540 thickness, that's roughly the rain snow line, but don't use that hard and true. There's cold enough air here in something we call the wet bulb zero. That's essentially the temperature that the air will cool down to if you evaporate water into it. And the wet bulb zero is actually much farther south than that. So may get some rain initially, but the rain will fall and change it to snow quickly. As we go into the future, this is Monday morning. That's heavy snow. Whoops, sorry about that. That's heavy snow right across the Charlotte area. Monday afternoon, Monday evening, possibly even into Tuesday morning before it comes to an end and then moves off the East Coast. Something else I want to show you here. We'll go way out into the future. I want you to look how cold this air mass gets down the road. Boy, this is going to be some really cold air here. So that's the European model. Let's go to the GFS model. I'm going to update this while I'm talking to you. Okay, we're getting some new data. So this is this morning's run of the GFS. Same scenario. I mean, it looks very similar. These are two separate models, mind you. One's a European, one's a GFS. Notice the track of the low through the Gulf Coast. The GFS a little more aggressive with the precipitation farther north. Even here, it looks like we might get transitioned to a coastal low. We'll have to keep an eye on this. It's something we call a Miller A, Miller B. Both of them are kind of flipping back and forth on this. But you could clearly see there's heavy snow right on that blue line on the northwest band. Again, this is heavy rain down here, probably severe weather over Florida. And there's our heavy snow band. So how much are we talking about? Well, let's take a look at a couple of the models. This was last night's GFS model. I'm still waiting for the snowfall data to come in from this morning, but you get an idea. Look at that over Charlotte, down south, and even all the way down to southern Alabama. Some snow. This is the GFS model run overnight. This was the 6Z, still showing heavy snow over the western Carolinas. This is the Canadian model. So you have two runs of the GFS, a Canadian model, all showing heavy snow. If I go in closer on the GFS, this was last night's GFS run. Notice the snow. Now, I don't buy this little divot here, but you see that white area over northern Mecklenburg County, Cabarrus County, up towards Lake Norman? That's 6 to 8 inches of snow. And just to reiterate that, let me show you the soundings from the GFS model to give you an idea. This was last night's GFS model, and I know for a lot of you looking at this, you're like, wow, what is all this stuff? Well, essentially, this is looking at the same model data, but just for Charlotte, and looking at it in 3 dimensions, so I get a profile of the atmosphere. The blue lines are snow. If I drag my cursor across this blue area, notice I get 9 inches and as high as 13.7 inches of snow for Charlotte. That gives you an idea. But if I look at the 6Z run of the same model, you're going to notice a slight change. Here's the 6Z. There's some freezing rain mixing in, and there's still snow in there, but there's a lot of mixing. So both of the runs of the model are actually showing some significant snow. Now, if I look at past storms, this is something we call analog storms. I look at the top 15. One of the ones that strikes me very carefully is this one right here. So those are just a couple of things we're looking at. I do think we're going to see some snow in here, but a lot of details still to work out. Stay tuned. This has the potential to be a big one.